Hello and welcome to the Everyday Board Game Podcast. I'm your host Daniel.
And I'm your host Daniel.
And today we are going to be doing a Spoilercast. Let me repeat that. This is a Spoilercast.
This is your warning. We're going to be talking about Ticket to Ride, Legacy of the West. So, warning, spoilers will be in this video. If you don't want to be spoiled, turn it off.
Yeah, and quite literally, we are going to talk about all of it. Okay? Like, we're not talking about just like what you're experiencing the first few games. We are going to start from the first games through the whole thing. We're talking about each of the modules, each of the parts that we liked, didn't like about it, some of the components, our overall thoughts, and some of that stuff. Seriously, we're telling you all of it.
So if you don't want to find out anything, play the game, then come back and watch this, or listen to this, because we are releasing this as a podcast as well.
Yeah. So seriously, again, last warning.
And also, you can go look at a review if you don't want any spoilers and see what we think about the game.
That's right. So with that being said, let's talk about Ticket to Ride, Legacy, Legends of the West.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you watched our review, you know we did a good job of not spoiling it, but I'm like, personally, I'm a 50-50 on it, right? Because I love Ticket to Ride. I was very excited for this. I love the provenance of this. And this is like, you know, take our bias into this right now, because we're doing a Spoilercast anyway, so we're going to be biased about it. But one of the biggest problems that we had with this, and again, I love Ticket to Ride.
No, not we.
No, we.
One person.
By we, I mean my group.
Yeah.
My wife did not enjoy her experience, and it was unfortunate because she does like Legacy games. She does like Ticket to Ride. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed this experience, but she got completely hosed as far as the games went. She is an absolute beast at Ticket to Ride, and because of the way this did Legacy, she just got messed over left and right. And there was a good point, like around like game 10, where she was like, I'm pretty much done. I kind of don't want to play this anymore. I'm not enjoying my time. This is taking too long. I'm not going to win. This is just doing work at this point. She was very clearly upset about it. And it's not just her. I felt it most from her because, you know, I felt bad for her that I'm making her play this Legacy game that needs her to play it. And she could have sit out, but she was like, no, I mean, I'm going to finish it because I promised I'd finish it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was really every game that we played 4-player game, and it was me and one other player that kept winning.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, it's my friend Jim, who doesn't care for Ticket to Ride all that much. Mm-hmm. And he was the other one who won. It was either him or I. The other two players always got, like, last place. So, I mean, say that as you will, right? You know, we had kind of a rough time with it. And I'll go into more detail on certain reasons why. But I want that to be clear why that is what it is. If I gave it a personal rating, I'd give it maybe a 6 out of 10. Just because of how, despite how good it was for me, and it was fun, and I ended up winning the whole campaign, I felt so bad for her.
I had a completely different experience. I give this probably an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I haven't really delved down on it, but we really enjoyed our play of it. This is the first real true, fully, all the way through Legacy game for one of my friends, Maria, that she played all the way through. I played Pandemic Legacy Season 1 with Angel, who is Maria's husband, as well as with my wife. And we all played this as a group. Maria really loved it as for her first major experience. We've played a little bit of Charterstone, but haven't really gone all the way through it.
Yeah.
Angel really enjoyed this more than Pandemic, as did my wife. Mm-hmm. My wife had almost the same experience as your wife did, that she never won a game, but she never got hosed and came in last quite a bit. There was a few games where she did come in last, but a lot of the times she would come in second or third out of the 4-player game. I ended up getting more last place than most people, but I did win my fair share. I won about 3 or 4 of the 12 games, so I won about a quarter of them. And I did enjoy the game a lot.
Yep.
And like I said, we're coming at a higher experience because we enjoyed it. And they mentioned how in Pandemic Legacy, it felt that you're playing the same game, or at least where this one changes up just slightly enough where there's a little bit more going on. There's a little bit of this. There's these different things that are happening. Like the main crux of Pandemic Legacy was that big special thing that happens, and we're not going to spoil it here.
Yeah, we won't spoil that game. That's
we'll do another one later on, maybe. But it had that one big thing where you're like, oh, and then there's certain things that were happening because this is the first time you ever experienced it in pandemic. Whereas this one, it just felt that everything you're doing is driving the game a little bit forward and adding more stuff. And so everybody really enjoyed that aspect of it, including my wife, especially when we go into the real big spoiler part of it, the characters that you're playing, that you get throughout the game. And it has that catch-up mechanic with the person who gets the caboose card also gets a second character to help them catch up. And so it has that really cool aspect of these things that we really did enjoy. So, like I said, we had a completely different experience than you guys did.
Well, and again, like I said, I enjoyed my play of it. Obviously, I mean, I was winning half the games, right? If I brought my box over, I'd show you. Like, I was very proud of the fact of how well I did and how well my friend Jim did. And we were having a good time. It just by, like, that 2/3 mark, we were really starting to see, like, just how checked out she was. And that's when I started really going, like, man, I feel bad that we're playing this now. And maybe she's just getting tired of legacy games. But let's
or
go
just playing games with you.
Well, I mean, that might be a factor of it. So let's talk about, like, some of these. So there's a main antagonist in this game, right?
Mama O'Connell.
Mama O'Connell, who's just a complete jerk. She's basically like the Rail Baron. If you've ever watched, like, Firefly, the show, she's like... Constance? What's the character's name? Like the old Western lady.
I know which one you're talking about.
Ruthless. Anyway, so Mama O'Connell is taking over these sections of maps. You start with a small section, and each module after a certain number of games, you're adding in more and more, and you're effectively trying to get points throughout the whole thing. And you don't get points, like, there's no scoreboard, which is already a huge change, right? But instead, you don't get points for individual routes. You'll just get points for however many trains you have left over at the end of the game. The fewer, the better. So, what was your thoughts on those? And it's not really
points. It's just coins, too. It's just money at the end of the game.
Right.
The train stuff and stuff like that?
Yeah, like just like how that change was...
Dealing with the Mama O'Connell, the events. I love the events. I thought the events were fun, and I like the fact that, depending on the player count, you're having so many things that are going to come up with events, because you're only seeding, 3 event cards in the deck for a 4-player game? Yeah. And so I like that. And how they're ever changing as you're adding more to the board. I like what they did. Sometimes they were good.
Yeah.
Like, if you're into this certain city, I think it was Lewisburg, I think, you get $5 if you built a route into this city. And it's like, okay, that's cool. I got some money now. I don't have to worry about doing other things to get money. I also love the fact that depending on what color you're playing as, you have certain routes that you can own and get money for.
Yeah.
I love that aspect of it.
That was a great fun.
So it had some really cool stuff. And then, trying to train out in a sense.
Right. And as you're playing throughout those games, you're actually getting stickers, and you're actually claiming cities where you get payment from the players who have to build routes off of your cities as well.
Honestly, we did not get a lot of cities. I had one the entire game. I don't think I had a second one.
Oh, man, no. We went wild with these cities. And so here's the back of these boards. And as you play, they have a bunch of these different boxes that you unlock as you're unlocking each one. At the end of the game, you have... after you played, I think, again, like 2 or 3 games, you start unlocking more regions. And each region, as you go build into it, will normally give you another mechanism or another new thing that you can unlock. What was the first region that you guys unlocked? Do you remember?
We did Florida. We
finished
the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah, we did Florida too. So yeah, what did you think about Florida?
I thought it was pretty neat. Florida was the first one we opened. I liked it because it was a circus, but I wish we left it for later because of the fact that the circus was kind of dead by the time we got further in.
Yeah. So there's this thing, right? It's a little circus. It's a sticker tape is what it is. And as you're playing, you're adding these train stickers to an itinerary. And it was hilarious because these itinerary, it's kind of like how the circus is touring. And there's 2 sides to it. One, you're just trying to get trains of your color. And the other side, you're trying to get trains of... Yeah, thank you. You're trying to get sets of trains, and they all have to be different colors. Like so. If you fill in certain ones of it, it's kind of like a little press your luck going. Except we didn't know when it was going to end. And when it ended, I had 0 trains finished. So I got 0 points for all of this work.
This is how our buddy Angel won. He had a bunch of his trains done. And so he got 30, what is it? He had a crap ton. It's 64 points or something on his. But what I also wanted to mention too, like I pulled up my stats of playing this game. Yeah. My wife won exactly one game the entire time. Still came in second place. I won 3, Angel won 3, and Maria won 5.
Yeah.
And Angel and my wife came first and second in that game, and they were only 15 points apart. And my wife only won one game.
Yeah. Yeah, which is pretty awesome. I mean, honestly, like that, it goes over the whole course of it. It should, in theory, average out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the circus was super fun. I like that one a lot. And then you go more towards the Midwest, and that was more stuff with like Mama O'Connell.
I'm trying to think what was our second one we opened.
I don't remember. I know we went east west and then northwest because we opened up the Washington area before anything else.
I'm trying to think.
As far as that,
we did the South second. That's the one we
South
did.
Second, yeah. We went straight up and over, which is hilarious.
I don't remember what the South gave us.
No, but I can tell you one of the things that I remember it gave us is that it gave us these tickets that were special tickets. And what they did is when you completed those tickets, there was one very special little component that I got to show off. This is hilarious. This is a little box that has tools on it. And this is just one of the coolest things.
One of the best components ever. And it does nothing but really enhance the game.
It's a hole punch.
You're punching tickets.
You're punching tickets. So whenever you complete one of these tickets, you punch your marker, and after one player punches either 2 of them or 1 of them, if it only has 1, then that ticket is retired from the game.
And if it has a little note on it, then you get a postcard, is what it's called, which gives you maybe a special ability or something. Like I had a postcard that gave me the chance to piggyback again without having to buy my piggyback card.
Right. Which, speaking of piggybacks, right, that was a way to mitigate if somebody takes your route, you can piggyback and then add in another one.
Yeah.
And there was some fun instances when we had to do that.
Yeah, I enjoyed the piggybacking, especially since I had 2, so I was like, oh, I can waste this piggyback now. Because eventually, hopefully, we'll get that event where it pops up and I can pay for it back. But I have this second one that stays with me for the rest of the game. It's just when I use it in that game, I put it back in my box and I'll get it for the next game.
That's right. So now, I think the Midwest area introduced this little piece, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So this piece...
Catan.
...is a Catan robber. If you played Catan, you know what we're talking about. This is literally the same piece. I think it was an homage to it. And it was a train robber in here. And it was the most annoying, stupid, just obnoxious piece.
Because it blocked you from going into certain parts of the city. If you did go where the robber landed, you lost money.
Yeah.
And then you don't lose the money to the bank. It goes to the Dead Man's Gulch, I think that's what it's called.
Dead Man's Gulch, and then certain players could potentially find it.
Man, it was our least favorite thing in the entire game.
Yeah, easily ours too. We hated that. Like, eventually, so one of the things is that it tells you if the robber is ever retired or caught, then no longer use the piece.
Yeah.
And we played so many games with the robber, and where it's like, what is it talking about? Because there was one event that specifically applied to him.
Yeah.
And then I think one of the players retired that event.
Yeah.
So we thought he was there permanently for the rest of the game. So we chose that he was caught, and then we found out the next game there actually wasn't a thing that caught him.
Yeah.
And it's because we were just like, we all mutually agreed, it's like, we're sticking this guy in a corner, and we're just going to keep bouncing him back in the corner. Like, we don't care about the robber anymore. We're just going to shove him down to Miami and get rid of him until somebody has to build it, and then we'll move him out. It's like, we don't care about him anymore. We're not stealing him from each other anymore. It's just dumb. And then we found out next game he got caught and then retired him. But we didn't... We citizens arrest, I guess, is what we did.
No, what we ended up doing is because it tells you when he gets retired, he's gone.
Yeah.
And so we retired him, flat out. After the second game, get out of here. We don't want to deal with you anymore.
Gone.
So we didn't deal with him anymore.
Yeah.
And because I think that was the 3rd or 4th box that we opened up. Yep. Because just the way it is, you can only open up a certain amount of boxes, and we despise him.
Yeah.
The one that you have in your hand, because I have the other ones over here. I have the Northeast, and I have, which is the starting point one, no?
Yeah. I think so.
And I have the Great Plains. I think that was the one that started with the robber, because that was the
battle. Or no, it was Open Range.
It was Open Range that started the robber, yeah. The Great Plains is the other one that we opened up.
Yeah. So, the Midwest, that's kind of what that was about. I ended up going north, so I got to bring up track beds. Track beds was another mechanism where it had essentially blank tracks, right? And these blank tracks have just an outline. And when somebody built it, it all had to be the same color.
Mm-hmm.
And they would put it down with the corresponding stickers of the color train.
Yep.
So if it was 4 tracks long and I put down 4 blue, which would benefit me, of course, because I was getting bonuses by putting down blue, because I was the blue player, then I would put down 4 blue stickers, assuming there was some available. Did you ever run out of any color?
We were close to running out of blue, and I believe black.
Okay, because almost every scenario after that gives you a little bit more. And we never got close.
I think we got close to running out. I think there was a point where we could only put out like 3 blue track, and there was no 3 blues that we could put out, so we couldn't use the blue one anymore.
Right.
Because if you notice, there was a lot of blue that was put on our board.
Yeah, there very much is. And so the reason I bring up the tracks is because up in the Northwest towards like Washington,
Seattle
area, that had another kind where you had to do it, but instead it had to be all locomotives. And when you completed that, you would get a bonus like 10, 20, 15
It didn't
points.
have to be all locomotives. If you're talking about...
well, they all had to have
pickaxes. The cards have pickaxes.
Yeah.
Or they have skulls or pickaxes, which are part of the modules. You see them there and like, oh, I wonder what these are going to be for during the game. And it's because when you open certain modules, you need pickaxes to go through these areas. And I'll just show a building here. This is another one that we opened, Haunted Waste, which we'll go into a little bit. But down here, you'll notice that there is like little pickaxes right there.
Yep.
You needed pickaxes to go through the areas. And so...
yes, here we go. Helena and Vancouver, that whole area. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, and so this was the game that was the turning point that I wanted to bring up specifically with my wife, because the way we had built the map, if you imagine the map of the U.S., right? Mm-hmm. We had all of like the Midwest, we had all of that, and then we had a big old panhandle up towards that, which is a thing that the game allows you to do, right? And because of when that happened, me and one other player got all of the tickets for that Northwest area. Mm-hmm. And my wife got just East Coast. So, and during that game, it even says, for this game and the next game, you have a really big incentive to build these tracks. If you get it, you get crazy buku benefits.
Because it's like a gambling, like a gold mine or something like that.
Yeah, it's like it's literally the gold rush, right? Yeah. And it's like you have 2 games to do as much as you can. And she never got any tickets up there. So she was like, this is dumb. And she was like, no matter how much better I do, this is what I got. And it was a shame because like had we gone up through like California and Nevada, that would have made more sense. Mm-hmm. But that's not like...
Cascadia was the second, the penultimate one we opened. The California one was the last one we opened. Cascadia was the second to last because we did everything, including the Haunted Waste, which I have right here, and then we also did the Sierra Madres.
Jump in here in a moment.
Yeah, so we really enjoyed the aspect when Cascadia did open up. That's why probably we didn't have a lot of problems. Is because like, oh, okay, this is where we're working now. Right. We have a lot more space here. Yep. So we had a good time with our Cascadia map. The one we hated the least was the last one we opened, or other than the stupid robber, which was California. But we also enjoyed that map because of what it was doing. It's just like, we don't need it now. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the Sierra Madres.
Nope, that's the Haunted Waste is.
Oh well, I'll find it later. All right, so the Sierra Madres, I'll find it in a minute. So that's down in the Southwest where we live.
Right on your thumb.
Oh, no wonder I didn't find it behind all of this stuff. So Sierra Madres, this was probably my favorite one, and this was a cool little one where you had a deck of cards that were sections of a map.
Yeah.
And the idea is you can, whenever you built a route that would build a train route either going to or from the Sierra Madres, you can either get a map card, which you can use each unique one twice. There's like 3 copies of each. It was like 18 cards.
Yeah.
Or you can hunt for the Sierra Madres, which is really neat. All you had to do was draw 10 consecutive cards off the top of the deck and get 0 skulls. That is really difficult. But if you have the map cards, then you can flip over one of your maps. But again, each individual one can only be used once. And ignore one of those skulls. Mm-hmm. So you keep drawing, keep hopefully doing it. And if you get all 10, whether skipping or not, then you can put off a scratcher and that'll give you like crazy amounts of points, like 30-something coins. Yeah. And that was really fun. But then that player had to spend those map cards that they used, which made sense.
And I like the fact that if you didn't make it, you get to keep those.
You get to keep the map cards, because
they had to be different, so you couldn't use like 2 Ds. You had to use an A, B, C, D, that kind of thing. So, like, if I have 2Ds in my hand, it's just like, oh, well, these are... I'm going to push my luck, but I can't use this other one, so I'm just going to move it to the side here.
Right. And I will also point out that I think this is funny, because this part of the map is like a little exclave, like a little growth down at the bottom of what originally was mostly a rectangular map.
Yeah.
And you see it just go... It just bulges to like, oh, yeah, we should add that on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool. That wasn't my favorite one, though.
What was your favorite?
We really enjoyed the Haunted Ways.
We didn't like that one at all.
We love this one. We love the rolling of the dice. And it's funny because, like, nobody wanted to go in there for a little bit. And they're like, oh, no, we have to go in here. And so, like, if you notice, we never put anything on our large track right here. What we liked about it, too, was also when you did the locomotive stuff, you got coins based on it. And then there's a little side track right here where that ghost train goes around, and if it lands next to somebody's train tracks, they get cursed. And you're moving him around based on that rolling die. We had fun with it, because every time you claimed a white track, you roll that die.
Roll the die.
No matter where you are on the board. If you claimed a white track, you rolled that die. And we had a blast. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, Angel. I have to claim this white track here because this is the space that I have to go into. That is great. You didn't need to use the white. That's all I had in my hand, all right?
Sorry.
Sorry.
It is what it is. And you know what was funny about this? So there's two things. One of the very first postcards in the entire game that I ever got said, it's like, oh, you can ignore one curse. I'm like, cool. Huh? And of course, and it does foreshadowing. That makes sense. But literally, it was like 10 games before I ever saw what that was.
No, once we opened that one, the last ones. We had a blast.
And did you know that these glow in the dark?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're glow in the dark pieces. It's super cool.
And the die is what, 1 through 4?
Yeah, it's 1 through 4. I think it's 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4.
Yeah. And so you just move it based on how many bones are there.
1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4.
I found it hilarious. We enjoyed the mess out of it. We haven't even mentioned one of my favorite things about this game is about the big cities. Like, whenever you went to the big city, you get to draw a card. And you get to put more big cities as you're going throughout the board, because there's different things that triggers at the end game. And one of them, my favorite, was putting out the big cities. As if you notice on my board here, Mama O'Connell basically took over the West. It's just ridiculous how she bounced around there, and I'll explain why that happened. But yeah, no, we enjoyed the fact that you can build the big cities. I like the fact that you can claim cities where people have to pay you money for going into said city, because it's like your hub city. It was just so much fun what we were doing, especially the Haunted Ways, claiming the big city. It's like, and so sometimes we love going into the big city because it's like, ooh, that gets me a free card. Let me go into this big city. I'm going to go a couple cities out of my route because I wanted to go...
Ozo out of almost every single one of these spots.
Yeah, because of the way that works, and I'll get to it. But going into the big cities is like, oh, and then you draw the card that you want, or you got a locomotive. We had a blast with it.
Yeah.
So the reason why Mama O'Connell has taken over basically the West is because there was a thing that happens in the game where she has to claim a city by where she is already claimed. And that kept coming up on us. It's like, boom, she took this. Okay. And so the person that gets to place it out there didn't want to place it to anywhere they were going to. So that became a game to us. Like, oh, no, you're going to screw me because you know I'm going over there. I'm placing it over here where you're going into. Yeah. Pay her the money. Because anytime you went to a Mama O'Connell city, you paid the bank money, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the last map for both of our games, actually. So this is the California map. And it's essentially the same thing, except there was a terrible earthquake, and it separated the entire state of California. And everything's just held up entirely by bridges. And more earthquakes can collapse those bridges.
Earthquakes?
I said earthquakes.
You said cakes.
Earthquakes can collapse those bridges. I can't word you today.
No, you can't.
But either way... yeah, so they collapse it, so you actually lay down your tracks, and you have to spend locomotives to lift them back up, hopefully before the end of the game.
Well, you can also spin the locomotives at the end of the game if you have them in your hand, and so, because there is a rule before you trigger the end game, if you have locomotives, spin them to pick your trains up.
Yep.
So we didn't play with that often. There was only 2 games we played that with. But there was times where I was looking at my last tickets of the game, and I'm like, I don't want to play with that. I'm going to go up to Cascadia. And I took the bigger ticket up in Cascadia and then into Los Angeles because I'm like, no way, no, how am I dealing with that?
Right. No, my favorite part of this was the very ending, right? There was one thing that they gave you at the end where it was also 2 games worth.
Yeah.
And it was this itinerary where it had basically a listing in a grid of all of the cities.
Yeah.
And If you connect any route to any city, you just mark it off.
Yep.
And you have claimed that. And for every column and every row, you get a bonus 10 points.
Yep.
The very last game I played, my goal, or the last 2 games really, but really the last one, was to mark every city. And I did it. I marked every single city, getting every single one. However, the thing is, if you know Ticket to Ride and you're trying to build paths from city to city, yeah, mine wasn't even close. Mine was here, then there, then this, then that. Just trying to fill in these gaps that I was trying to do. And I pulled it off, and that was easily the worst scoring game I ever did.
The last game was the worst scoring game I ever did, too. And I played pretty efficiently.
Yeah.
It's just that I couldn't... I think it was my wife, because she ended up winning. That was the game she won, was the last game. Was basically just throwing her trains out there. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't get my trains off because I'm getting all these nickel and dime stuff because I want to get into these areas and finish the tickets that I have because those are going to give me points.
Yep.
But all my stuff were like small little sections. And so we had a blast with it, but it was difficult. I think I finished 1 row and 1 column.
Yep.
Or actually, I finished 3 because I think I got 30 points off of it.
Yep, so we have tunnels, claiming routes, track beds, moving the robber, moving the ghost train, lost treasure, company towns, claiming... Oh, shares.
Shares, that was a fun one.
Yeah, that was a fun one. So you're gaining shares by claiming certain color routes, and if it's available and it's another row of cards, then you get that, and you get to keep them throughout the game. Sometimes you could spend them for different things, but mostly you kept them, and whoever had majorities at the end of the game won points for that. That was cool. Bridges, timetable, that's what we're talking about. Vaulting shares, expanding frontier. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we had a good time with this. I love the shares. I think that was a fun one because it's 2 shares every time out there. You claim a route of one of those shares colors, and there can be 2 black out there. So if you claim a black route, you get one of those, and a new one flips up, just like in when you're pulling train cards. So it does a fantastic job of what you want for it. I enjoyed it a lot, and then when you're done, it gives you some more stickers to basically clean up your board a little bit.
Yep.
And
this little rule book. This rule book is called the 1901 Ticket to Ride 1901, and all this really does is shows how you can play with all your components, which stuff you keep from the game, which ones you put away, and how you play it from then on out with your own custom board.
So I'm not going to do that. My plan is I want to build up the board and make it like a frame painting or something like that. I don't know if I'll keep it for myself. I think I want to give it to my friends, but I don't know yet. Because there's certain things I want to do because I want to kind of make it a shadow box style where I put like glue the trains on the board and then put the hole puncher in there as a little shadow box thing. So I want to get the puzzle glue and glue the pieces together.
Right. Yeah, no.
And they put some of the cards in there and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience for sure. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the spoiler cast of it. Less of a review and more of us just telling you about spoilers and our initial thoughts.
And what we liked about them too, or hated by certain people.
What was your favorite expansion part?
Oh, I told you, Haunted Ways. We had a blast with it because we love the curses because they were just funny.
Mine was the circus, just because I think I love circus.
My second favorite was the Sierra Madres. That was my second favorite. Where you're doing the push of luck aspect. Yep. I enjoyed that one. The one thing I hated was the robber. That was the only thing I really disliked. Was the robber thing.
The stocks was probably my third favorite. I did enjoy the stocks.
I also enjoyed the gold rush, the Cascadia, where you're like trying to connect this to this to get all those points.
I did enjoy that, but it got cramped really fast with the tunnel that we had.
Yeah. I also like the different postcards aspect where they gives you either different abilities or like, hey, if you go into this certain city and use an extra locomotive card while you're there, now this is worth $12 for you at the end of the game. I also like the fact that my wife came in second place and only lost out by 12 points and only won 1 game, the very last game.
Actually, I'm going to load up... go ahead and keep talking, because I'm going to load up the score that we had as our final game. Because I'm curious, because this is, again, how it works is that they take all of the previous games, all the money that you got,
plus the shares and all the different stuff.
All that stuff. So, I want to see how many...
We had a blast. Oh, my big gripe about this game is I got exactly 999 points. I am the only one that didn't hit over 1,000, and I missed it by 1. It drove me insane. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Everybody else, like, Angel won the game with 1217. My wife got 1202. And my friend Maria hit it with 1,071. And I had 999.
999. My goodness. All right, I'm still pulling up mine. My listing was weird.
Yeah, my average score was, because it threw my 999, was 138.69 was my average score. So I had a blast with this game. I liked everything about it. He's taking forever for his scores.
There it is. So our final scores was I had 1,236 points. Coins, money, whatever.
Yeah.
My friend Jim had 1,145. My wife had 1,120, so only by 25 points. And our friend Katie got 971, which is not bad because that was the first time she had ever played Ticket to Ride was this game.
So, 999. I missed it by 1.
Yep.
Everybody else was over 1,000.
Over 1,000. I'd be curious to see what their final score was. Like, just how it compared to ours, too, later on.
Oh, so. I have the final scores. I just told you.
Oh, same
Angel
here?
had 1217. Because it's under the best section.
Oh,
12-17, because I just put the 13th game as the final score. 12-17 was Angels. My wife came in second place at 12-02.
Wow.
Maria had 10-71, and then mine had 999.
So for the grand scheme, I only beat his best score, or his total score, by 19 money.
Yeah.
That's it. That's like nothing.
And he beat my wife by 12. Or 15.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a pretty close spread. I mean, I'm a little salty that I didn't break 1,000, but it was still within range. And again, my last game, that was my big issue. My worst scoring outside the opening games and stuff like that, because you're not going to score a lot of points.
No.
I'm trying to find the play of that one. So my last game score was, that is the final score. Was a 66.
Yeah, I think mine was like 45. It was like minuscule compared because I was not trying. Not that I was trying to throw the game. I was just trying to fill in that timetable because that's funny. So overall, yeah, I mean, I had a good experience.
Fun experience,
my whole game group did not necessarily just because of certain experiences that we had with it. So it has its good, it has its bads, but there's your spoiler cast for that. Oh, by the way, there are spoilers in this, so if you haven't clicked away yet, you don't...
It's a little late now.
It's a little late now for you. Anyway, so we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Everyday Board Games. As always, I've been your host, Daniel.
And I've been host, Daniel.
And we want to thank you for listening to Everyday Board Games.
And remember, every day is a good day for board gaming.